Okay, welcome to our yoga class. Taking our positions, let's lay flat on the ground into Shavasana. So go ahead and get comfortable on our mats. Find the position where we're laying flat down, resting our shoulders, our hips, everything down into the ground. Just noticing how that feels as we start to really give ourselves permission to relax. So often throughout the day, we're so busy thinking about other things that we never just think about letting ourselves take a moment, check in with the body, check in with how we're feeling, check in with how many thoughts are racing around our head. So today in our yoga practice, what I want us to do is we're going to focus on opening up through our heart center. What that's going to do is really stretch across our chest, open up any tension that maybe we've had, if we've had a busy week of punching over our computer or our notebooks, anything like that, sitting a lot. So throughout today's class, I want us to just give all of those thoughts that are racing around our head, give them a break, put them in that imaginary box, set them aside. Anything that's really important, we can open up the box and get to again later. Know that it will be there when we finish our practice. But for right now, we're going to allow ourselves to bring all of our focus, all of our thoughts into how our body feels laying on the floor in Shavasana, corpse pose. Palms are facing up to the ceiling. We're noticing left side, right side of our whole body, nice and even, feeling level on the floor. Noticing that our spine is also feeling straight or neutral. Maybe our head is kind of tilted to one side, making sure that the nose is pointing straight up to the ceiling. If we haven't closed our eyes yet, go ahead and just close our eyes. Relax the eyelids. If we have too much tension in our eyebrows, just go ahead and relax through all of the facial features. Making sure our neck is long. And we're bringing our attention now to our breathing. We'll complete our diaphragmatic breath today, starting with that big inhale, filling the belly, the rib cage, the chest with our big breath in. And on the exhale, we relax the muscles in the chest. The rib cage and the belly sinks in towards the floor. Keep practicing that nice big inhale and big exhale. Doing this two-part breath, in and out through the nose. Noticing how this helps us calm down, helps us feel peaceful, more relaxed. Usually helps us with our heart rate coming slower. Using this two-part breath whenever we're feeling unfocused or maybe a little bit anxious, just take a moment, breathe in, and breathe out. Now from here, reaching our arms all the way long on the floor. Taking them up over our head, nice big stretch. Perhaps we'll grab our right wrist and pull it over to the side just a little bit. Notice how that feels as we open up along the side of our body. And then we can switch and grab our left wrist, pulling that arm a little bit longer. Notice how that feels. Beginning to experiment with stretching through our joints, loosening everything up. And coming back through the middle, go ahead and release our arms. And while we're laying on our mat, I want us to gather our knees into our chest. Give ourselves a nice big hug. We can hold on to our shins or behind the knees on the thighs and just start that slow rock, side to side. Noticing how that feels if we have any tension through the lower backs or through the hips. And now holding the knees to chest still, we'll start to roll our ankles, releasing any tension from the joints. We can wiggle through the feet, point and flex the feet if that feels good. Preparing for our single leg stretch. We take both hands onto that right leg, lowering the left leg down to the floor. The left leg presses really firmly into the mat, and we pull the right knee open towards our right shoulder, bending that left leg down into the ground, noticing how we're stretching across the pelvis, in through the legs. Now while we're here, we're working on that 2-part breath, keeping both shoulders relaxed into the mat, checking in with our posture, checking in with the muscles in the face, the neck, the chest, the shoulders, throughout our entire practice. Now from here, I'd like us to take the leg through the center, grab it with the left hand, and direct that knee over towards the other shoulder, just a little bit. So we want to keep our back still on the floor, noticing how this changes the stretch into the outside of that hip. Just a little bit. Take an inhale, hug that knee into the center. Exhale, relax the leg down. Take a nice big inhale, bring that left knee up into the chest. Give that leg a squeeze. That right leg is now pressing firmly into the floor, and we'll bring the left knee open out towards the left shoulder. Again, we can hold the knee or we can hold under the thigh if that's more comfortable. I want us to pay attention if we've twisted or tilted at all. Keep both hips, both shoulders flat on the floor. And we're stretching just through that left side as we open down the right leg. Now slowly start to bring that leg through the center, holding onto the leg with the right hand. And we just give a little bit of a stretch there. Maybe it's a lot, into the outside of that hip. Noticing still both shoulders down on the floor. Not a big stretch. We're still just exploring our body today, noticing how we're feeling, checking in with all of the different areas. Inhale the leg into the middle, exhale down to the ground. Taking the feet flat onto the floor, knees are bent, placed hips width distance apart, keeping our shoulders down on the ground as well. I want us to bring our hands to the floor, fingers spread. Now we'll start just marching one leg at a time, doing a little bit of abdominal work. Lifting one knee at a time, inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Not a fast move, nice and slow, just little marches, very good. Noticing if we're rocking at all throughout the torso, try to flatten out that stomach. Inhale, contract, exhale, release. Inhale, contract, exhale, release. I would want us to do 2 more on each side. Again, just activating through those muscles in the core. And then hold that at the bottom. Take our hands to the side of our head, elbows are wide. And if we can today, tuck the chin, lift the head and shoulders up. Notice how that feels, keeping the bellies nice and flat, holding this position with elbows wide. And now let's repeat our march. We alternate legs, right side, left side. Inhale the right knee, exhale, lower. Inhale the left, exhale, lower. Noticing again, if we're rocking at all from right to left, we want to stay neutral. Good, notice our breathing. And we'll do 1 more on each side, nice and strong. And then rest the head down and bring the arms down as well. Very nice. So we've activated through the core. I'd like us to find that position again. Notice if we're twisty, find that neutral, strong through those abdominal muscles, hands on the ground. Feel all 4 corners of our feet pressing into the floor. That's all 10 toes, both heels. For bridges, let's inhale, lift the hips up to the ceiling. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, lifting the hips up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, noticing our knees are staying neutral, staying straight. Exhale, lower. So we're not letting them fall in or touch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Give those glutes a squeeze on the way up. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. We'll do this one final time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Very nice. From here, let's take our time rolling over through baby, all the way up onto our hands and knees. We'll take our tabletop position. Tabletop, hands are placed directly beneath shoulders. Knees are right underneath of those hip bones. Relaxing our feet in the back. Try to uncurl those toes. Now, with our spread fingers, bent elbows, just a little bend, really flatten out our backs. We pull up our bellies, flatten out our backs up through the shoulders. Long necks. We're always looking just ahead of our fingertips. Let's find ourselves in spinal balance. Reach our right arm forward, thumb up like you're shaking someone's hand, and then press that left leg back behind us. Press out through the heel. So we're not pointing, we're flexing. Good. And then lower that down. Inhale, left arm, thumb up to the ceiling. And we push that right leg back behind us, only as tall as our back. Nice straight line. Lower down. Let's move with our breathing. Inhale, right side. Exhale, lower. Keeping strong abdominal muscles. Inhale, left. Exhale, lower. Noticing our balance as we inhale right. Exhale, down. Inhale, left. Exhale, down. Inhale, right, straight line. Exhale, very nice. Inhale, left. Exhale, one more each side. Inhale, right. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale, left. Exhale, down. Let's find our cats and our cows. Inhale, untuck the tailbone, open the chest, look forward. Exhale, tuck the tailbone round the back, pull the belly buttons up. Inhale, untuck, open, finding cow. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull the belly buttons in, relax the head. Inhale, open, tall through the crown. Exhale, round, nice and high up to cat. Inhale, open, one more cow. Exhale, round up, last time, cat. And tabletop. Very nice. From here, let's thread the needle. Inhale, right arm nice and high up to the ceiling. Exhale, thread all the way underneath that shoulder, laying into our right ear. We can place the left hand up over top on the floor. Really feeling the stretch through that upper back and through the shoulder. Deep, slow breaths. Very nice. Let's come back up through tabletop. Make sure we have good balance. Inhale that left arm nice and high. Exhale, thread all the way underneath the right shoulder. We can send that right hand up over top. And we're leaning in through that left ear, noticing the stretch through the shoulder blades, the upper back, down that left arm. Wherever it is that we're feeling it, I want us to check in, listen to what the body's telling us, and pay attention, sending extra energy into those areas today. Good, let's come back up through tabletop. Settling into our first child's pose. We can open our knees a little bit, send our hips back into our feet, push those arms forward, and relax the head down. If we're able to get the forehead onto the floor, allow the neck to relax, coming long. Take a couple of really nice, slow, deep breaths. Noticing how low our hips are into our feet, if there's a lot of space between or if they're touching. How this feels on our knees. If this isn't comfortable today, we can send the knees open even wider. That usually helps a lot. Now let's get ready for our first flow series of today, our modified flow series. We start by coming up into our kneeling plank. Hands under shoulders, Shoulders stacked right on top of our wrists, and then come down into baby crocodile. It's our hover position, elbows glued to our rib cage. Push straight up, coming into kneeling plank again. Push back into child's pose. Let's repeat that 4 times today. Inhale forward, kneeling plank. Exhale, slow chaturanga, baby crocodile. Inhale, press straight up, kneeling plank. Exhale, push back, child's pose. Inhale, forward. Exhale, slow lower, elbows graze the rib cage. Inhale, press straight up, belly's in. Exhale, back. Last time. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, slow chaturanga. Inhale, press straight up. Exhale, push back into child's pose. Very nice, everyone. From here, coming forward into tabletop again, we'll take our runner's lunge. Stepping our right foot up in between our hands, stacking knee above ankle, wiggle those toes. We find our balance, noticing if that left knee is feeling okay, supported on the mat. Noticing as we open up through the arms, how that feels on the chest, the back, the hip. Zipping all the way up, tall with our crown. See if we're able to close our eyes today. How does that affect our balance? Do we need an extra shoulder roll to give more length between shoulders and ears, creating a longer neck? Have our ribs opened up, or have we sewn them together? Very good. From here, I'd like us to take one final big inhale. Exhale, release down. Sweep that knee back behind us. Switching sides, send that left leg forward. Now we've got the left foot underneath the knee. We come up, checking for balance. Notice how our core is, bringing those arms all the way up overhead, bringing the bellies in, and see if we can close our eyes. Nice long necks, tall with the crown. We never let the crown fall off of our head. Now as we hold this runner's lunge, noticing that we're not leaning into the leg, we're lifting that belly away from the thigh. Strong, in control. Take one final big inhale. Exhale, release the arms down. Sweep that knee back behind us. Press back into child's pose. A couple of nice big breaths here. Curl the toes underneath of us. Coming up into downward dog. Make sure we've got spread fingers. Lift those hips up nice and high. Now as we hold down dog, oh, we're feeling that up the backs of our legs. Feel free to pedal those feet. Walking the dog. We pedal from right foot to left foot. Lots of good stretches there. Moving through all 10 toes, the arches. Feeling the stretch come up the backs of our legs. Now what I'd like us to do is settle the feet. So keep them calm as we drop the feet. Heels come down towards the floor. Some of us, our heels might touch. Others, they may stay quite high. Notice where they are today. Let's really press away from our hands. And then as we look back at our feet, we really want to lift that tailbone up nice and high to the sky. Hold it here. Now go ahead and shake that head no. Let's get rid of all of that neck tension. Good. And then nod the head yes. All right, now from here, holding our down dog position, roll those shoulders down our backs, lots of space between ears and shoulders. Coming forward into plank. Nice big breath in. Drop the knees to the ground. Exhale, slow lower all the way to the floor. Good, now we're coming into baby cobra. We squeeze our shoulder blades together, press our hands into the mat, and lift up just a little bit. So just off the chest, noticing how this feels. Oh, big stretch. Long through the neck. Press those legs firmly down into the floor. Hold it here, squeeze those elbows. And then I want us to relax the chest. Good, find our placement with our hands, curl those toes. We're lifting all the way back up to down dog. We're going to repeat that flow series, but this time, see if we can come into full cobra, if that's available to us today. So we find the inhale forward into plank. We can drop the knees to the floor as we chaturanga, slow lower. If we're coming into full cobra, bring those hands back a little bit as we lift all the way up. I want us to really press away from our hands, lift the hips up away from the floor, long, long necks. So remember, we never sink into our shoulders, we're always lifting up. And now slowly let's curl those toes, lift the hips all the way tall. Nice big down dog. Oh, that feels so nice. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Whichever cobra feels good for us today. Long backs, long necks. And then let's press back, downward dog. From here, let's walk our hands and feet together. Coming halfway up into monkey. Monkey is that half lift position. Finding our table surface. So really, I want you to imagine that coffee cup sitting on our back, full of delicious hot coffee. Maybe not hot coffee, maybe a hot chocolate or a tea. Whatever it is that we really like. It's warm, balanced on our back. We don't ever want to spill a drop of it. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Notice our hands pressing on our shins or maybe our thighs today. Knees are a little bit bent. We're working on our posture. Very nice. Now sitting our hips back, we feel the weight coming through our heels. Open up to chair. Reach those arms forward. Hands meet the ceiling and the wall. So wherever the ceiling meets the wall, that's about where we want our hands to reach up to. Good. Now while they're here, noticing our stomach pulling in away from our thighs. Back stay flat, tailbone stays down. Now how low can we get today with our chair? Can we get a little bit lower? Very nice. Wiggle those toes, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Now from here, big inhale, lift all the way up. Oh, exhale, relax. Let's establish our mountain pose. All right, so mountain pose. Feet are hips width distance apart. Wiggle those fingers, wiggle those toes. Roll the shoulders down. Open up our palms. So into Tadasana, we feel really strong. We feel grounded through our feet, zipping up through the legs, open across our hips, zipped up through the core, shoulders down, arms out. Let's close our eyes. As we stand here, as tall as a mountain, as strong as a mountain, we're breathing in and out through our nose. Inhale, lift both hands up. Exhale, sweep, sitting into chair pose. Good, we're going to repeat that chair flow. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, chair. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, chair. Sit back through the heels, flat back. Inhale, lift up. This is last time. Exhale, sweep into chair. Inhale, lift up. This time I want us to swan dive into forward fold. Flat back, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, reverse, swan dive, lift tall. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, reverse, swan dive, lift tall. Exhale, swan dive, all the way down, forward fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, reverse. We'll do this one more time. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Bend the knees. Inhale, reverse all the way up. Exhale, relax. Stepping to the very top of our mat. Finding ourselves in Tadasana, noticing the space around. We step our left foot behind us into warrior one. Bring that heel down to the floor. Bending into that front right knee. Back leg is straight. Front knee is bent. Hips and shoulders face forward. Let's bring those arms all the way up tall. As we hold warrior one, notice our posture, strong through the ribs, tall through the back. Shoulders are down our back. Arms are reaching up. Maybe we even lift our eyes, looking up to our fingers or straight ahead. Wiggle those toes, make sure that the toes are getting longer. Maybe bend into that front knee a little bit more. Noticing if there's any stretch up the back leg. Now what I'd like us to do is send those hands back behind us, reaching for that imaginary beach ball. We're really opening up our chest. Reach for that imaginary beach ball. Hold that ball in place. Opening up the chest, look a little bit taller. Some of us might be able to interlace our fingers and point them down towards the floor, opening up the chest even more. Continuing to bend into that front knee, lengthen our toes. Noticing how this feels this morning as we open up through the chest. Very nice. Slowly releasing that. I want us to straighten out our legs, finding pyramid. We take a slow walk all the way down the thigh. Maybe we come past the knee onto the shin. Some of us may have stopped already, that's okay. Others may be venturing to the foot or the floor. If anyone has a yoga block, feel free to hold onto those blocks to give us a little bit of extra space. Noticing today how we're feeling. If we're feeling stretch at the back of the leg, down our backs. I want us to remember to keep our backs nice and straight as we find this pyramid position. Long neck, long backs. Slow breath. Nice big breath in. Nice big breath out. Bending that front knee. Slowly walking all the way back up the leg and stepping the legs in together. Good, give them a shake if we need to. Go ahead and step into Tadasana at the top of the mat. Roll the shoulders down and send the right foot back into warrior one. This time that right leg is straight, pressing the heel into the floor, bending into that left knee. Hips and shoulders stay facing directly to the top of our mat as we reach those arms up nice and tall. Noticing our shoulders squeezing in the back, zipping up through the front, holding warrior one. Long toes, long fingers. Think about opening up our chest, lengthening our neck, pulling those bellies in. Now, if we haven't closed our eyes yet, I'd like us to take a moment, check in with our balance. Whenever we're able to take away that visual sense, noticing how that touch, that feel kind of picks up, maybe with our feet fidgeting. Very good. Now keeping our legs in warrior one, reaching those arms now back behind us. Grab hold of that imaginary beach ball. Bend that front knee a little bit more. Keep that back heel pressing into the ground. Nice big stretch. If anyone's able to take the beach ball and turn it into a tennis ball, we'll hold that tennis ball instead, opening up the chest. Keep the ribs nice and tight. Press that heel down to the floor. Look up towards the ceiling, opening up our chest. Very good, everyone. Relaxing our arms, straightening out our legs. Remember, we never lock the knee. Leave a little bit of a knee bend. Hips and shoulders stay forward. We start that slow walk down the leg. Keep the hips forward. Sometimes if we're tight, we'll accidentally open. I want us to keep everything closed towards the ground. Wherever we feel the stretch, we just stop there. We give ourselves permission to listen to the body. Find the stretch today, not what it was last week or not what we'd hoped it would be, just whatever feels good. Flatten out the backs. Nice long breath. Remember, whenever we're able to really slow down our breathing, we can kickstart that relaxation response. Helps lengthen the muscles, encourages really good blood flow, sending healthy, oxygenated blood to all the sore spots. to the little toes, the little piggies. Slowly bend the front knee, walk all the way up. Good, and stepping back together. Go ahead and fidget if we need to. Good, finding Tadasana again at the top of the mat. Roll those shoulders down. I want us to take a big breath in. Nice big inhale up to prayer. Exhale, swan dive into forward fold. Oh, feels so nice. Holding forward fold. This time we're not moving, we're staying here. So I want us to drop that head. Really allow yourself to relax the neck. If you're not sure if you have or not, I want us to just tuck the chin in a little bit towards the chest. Let that head become heavy. Maybe shaking it or nodding it. Really try to let go. Let gravity help us with this. Hands can touch the floor. Maybe they hold on to our legs. Or maybe we hold elbows in ragdoll. But again, I want us to drop that head. Knees can be as soft as we need them to be. Really enjoy this position. Very good. Enjoying all the stretch that we're feeling. Release the arms now, slowly coming down into a ball. I want us to sit the heels down towards, sit the hips down towards the heels. Keep those heels glued to the floor. And now reach the arms forward. Some of us might fall over. Some of us may have a harder time and need to stay quite high. Just try to keep the heels down as we drop the weight. I find reaching hands forward is really helpful for balance. So feel free to come into a little prayer position at the heart center if that's better. A couple more breaths here. Very nice. Now we slowly find our way up into monkey. Half lift. And then bend those knees in a reverse swan dive all the way up to prayer. And relax. Oh, take a couple of shoulder rolls. And walk over to the side edge of our mat here. So the long edge of our mat. I'd like us to take our feet out nice and wide. Turn our toes out just a little bit. All right. So from here, taking our arms all the way, reach up nice and tall. And then come down with our elbows into our ribcage, into a nice big squat. Now reach all the way up nice and tall. And exhale. Good. We're just doing some moonflowers. Opening up through our hips. We love our moonflowers and sunflowers. Keeping our back flat. Big inhale to reach, exhale to lower. Whatever speed feels good. There's no right or wrong here. I want us to notice all 10 toes on the floor. Notice our knees tracking over our feet, opening up through our thighs. And as we continue to really squeeze those arms in, we're noticing how it feels. Good. We're going to change our arms from these strong elbows into a scoop, making a sun above the head, and then scoop, picking whatever it is up in our basket off of the floor. Good. Working with our sunflowers and moonflowers. Now, if we like this, I want us to start alternating, switching between the two. So we'll round up high, round down low, and then we reach straight up high and squeeze those elbows in. Good, so switch between our moonflowers and sunflowers, straight arms and round arms. Very good. Again, there's no right or wrong. If we accidentally miss a cue, that's okay. I just want us to keep bending through our legs, working through, noticing how wonderful this feels as we open up our hips and shoulders. We'll do one more, nice and strong on this last one. Good, and then reach up nice and tall. Send both toes forward. Good, soften the knees a little bit, and then reach towards me. Good. Reach, 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 nice and long. Oh, and then relax. So now we're in our forward fold in our straddle split. We have our legs out wide.
We can have our hands touch the floor, hold on to our legs, or again, we can take ragdoll, whichever is more comfortable. I want you to see if our neck is relaxing. Drop that. Very good. Just opening up through the hips and the back of the leg, letting the neck and the back get a little bit longer. Nice slow breaths. Feels really good stretching out that back. Now we slowly bend the knees, slowly, slowly, slowly. Oh, and roll all the way up. Oh, roll the shoulders down. Very nice. Take our time here as we stand nice and tall again. This time we're coming into another forward fold. We're going to interlace our fingers behind us. So if I turn to the side so we can see a little bit better, we'll take our fingers, interlace them. Now, when you're doing this, we want to imagine that tennis ball behind us, and we keep a hold of the tennis ball, and then we try to straighten out. If that's not comfortable, keeping that tennis ball in place, just imagine that we've got our beach ball behind us instead. So when we do this, beach ball or tennis ball, hold that chest stretch, bend the knees lots, 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 and then hinge the hips. Start to come into that forward fold. And whenever we find that position, we can see if we can really let those arms go. If at ever this is not a comfortable stretch on the shoulders or the chest, just let the arms drop down. You can hold ragdoll instead. Good. Let's do this for a couple of more breaths if we're able to. Then everyone relax the arms together towards the floor. Oh, it feels good. Turn the toes out a little bit. We're coming into another squat, but this time it's our prayer squat. So we have kind of a froggy position. This time we take our elbows to the inside of the knee. So I'll turn so everyone can see. We sit down as low as we can get. And we send our elbows against the knees, helping them open. Roll the shoulders, press the hands firmly together, and try to straighten out our back. We're not crunched or hunched. We're really trying to come up nice and straight. See if we can keep our heels on the floor. This is a really nice position to open up through the hips. If we're able to really press the fingers hard together and squeeze those shoulders together in the back, we'll activate a lot of the muscles to help open up through those postural muscles. Opening the chest, working the shoulders. Good, it's all about those shoulders and hips. Slowly, slowly, I want us to bring our hands back down to the floor. If we can turn our toes in a little bit as we come up halfway to monkey again. Just stop for a second, make sure that we're okay with our breathing. Bend the knees, big inhale, reach up nice and tall. Oh, exhale, relax. Very good, everybody. Coming back to the top of our mat. We're going to come all the way down into down dog. So we reach up tall, inhale to prayer. Exhale, swan dive into forward fold. Step back into plank. And press back into down dog. Now, we don't always need to come into our positions gracefully. We can just simply step into down dog. But in yoga, we do like to practice our coordination, learning how to move the body with grace, be more functional, be more effective and efficient with our movements, be more in control. That takes a lot of self-awareness. Now from here, let's get ready to take that pigeon pose. We bring our right foot all the way up to the ceiling. We kick that foot all the way up towards that left hand, dropping the right knee towards the floor, sending that left leg all the way back behind us. So just take a moment, make sure that that left leg is running long with the long edge of the mat. The right leg is trying to come parallel to the top edge of the mat within reason. Now as we balance on our knees, we can come down onto our hands, our elbows, or even make our fists into pillows. If anyone out there feels like they want to go even deeper, feel free to allow those arms to reach forward, coming down all the way to the mat with the forehead. What I want us to recognize, regardless of our position, is all of that sensation happening through that right hip, what we're feeling, making sure that we're not just simply laying on that right side. We want to be balanced on our feet and our knees, attempting to keep our backs as flat as possible here. We know when we stretch that when we're able to work with a good long spine and neutral position, that the stretch does in fact become more effective. Like whenever we're working with pulley systems, you think about proper levers, all of those body mechanics. That comes from really nice grounded position, so knees and feet balanced on the floor, and good posture. From here, slowly working up all the way into tabletop. Now before we repeat the other side, I want us to do a few more cows and cats. Untucking the tailbone and rounding the back, going at our own pace. Just noticing how this feels this time around. Good. On the next one, feel free to come all the way up to down dog again. Oh, in down dog, noticing how we've got maybe some more length in our legs. Maybe our heels are closer to the floor. Maybe our legs are farther apart from our hands than they were at the beginning. Maybe our tailbone feels higher. Stretching all that posterior chain, the back of our body. Now preparing for pigeon, really strong with the hands on the floor. We lift that left leg up, big inhale. Exhale, sweep the foot up to the right wrist. The knee comes towards the left hand. Check that that right leg is back behind us. Always know where our legs and our arms are. And then we can bring our belly button towards that front leg as we come down onto hands, elbows, fists, or floor. Again, if we have a yoga block is sometimes a really nice thing to put so that our head can balance on it. If you've got a pillow, you can always put your head on a pillow too. That's more comfortable. Noticing that we're not resting on the hip. We're on the knees and the feet. We're trying to keep left hip and right hip level with the floor. Again, think of all those body mechanics. We want the best stretch, targeting that left side this time. Now, are we still paying attention to our breathing? Inhale and exhale. If we're working through the nose, inhale and exhale through the nose, that 2-part breath, we're able to stay soft through the muscles in our face. If we prefer breathing out through the mouth, we find it gives us more of a relaxation response. That's absolutely okay. Just check in and make sure that we're not creating any tension in the face. All right, let's come back up into tabletop. I want us to do just a couple of more cats and cows. One last time, really articulating, really moving through the spine, through the core, tailbone to crown of head. And then we'll press back into child's pose when we feel like we've done a good amount of those. Whether we open our knees to help ease our hips, or if we keep our legs nice and close together, reaching those arms out long, or maybe we feel like relaxing and we'd rather take our hands under our forehead. We really want everyone to listen to the body and take just a moment in our child's pose position here. Now we're going to slither forward into our final cobra, noticing how this feels as we allow the hips to relax towards the floor, open the chest. Oh, I know I definitely feel longer, feel taller. Keep those abdominal muscles coming in, press those legs firmly in towards the floor, long necks. If anyone feels like they need to come into a baby cobra instead, absolutely listen to your body do that. Now slowly come down to the ground. Good. I want us just to flip over onto our backs. Take our time here. Slowly come all the way down onto our backs. And when we get into our position, go ahead and bring our knees into our chest. Give ourselves a really nice big hug. Just rocking side to side. Noticing if our hips feel any different, our back. Coming into our dead bug, happy baby. We take our feet, place them on the ceiling. So we put our footprints on the ceiling. Take our 2 peace fingers, pointer and middle, grab our big toes. If that's not something that works for us today, take our hands behind our knees instead. Now, as we're here, I want us to bend our knees lots and lots. Keep those footprints on the ceiling, and then let the knees open out to the side. So it's kind of like those moonflower, sunflower squat position. Kind of like that prayer squat that we did. We're just letting the knees open and bend, keeping those footprints on the ceiling, holding our big toes or holding behind the knees. Noticing the stretch through the groin as we continue to open up through the hips. Try to relax the backs down on the ground. Sometimes in Happy Baby, we tend to keep the hips lifted off the floor. Go ahead and just relax, thinking of the tailbone coming down to the ground. On our next inhale, bringing those legs back up together. Now, keeping the legs up, but bringing it so that the shins become parallel to the floor, knees at 90 degrees, arms come out to the side. Our final stretch will be spinal twist. Take a big breath here. Exhale, drop the legs to the right. Wherever they might land, feel free to take your right hand on top of that knee. Looking over our left arm, try to keep the shoulder pressing into the mat. A great way to continue stretching open across our chest. Really nice way to stretch down along the rib cage into the hip. Focusing on those shoulders and hips. Take an inhale, lift both knees, come up. Exhale, lowering over towards that left side. Again, I'd like us to try to keep our shoulders pressing onto the mat as we look over that right arm. Feel free to add a little extra pressure using the hand against the leg, pressing left hand on right. Slow our breathing. Inhale, lifting the legs up. And release the feet down to the ground. Finding Shavasana. Go ahead and take our legs out straight. Let our feet turn out to the side as they relax and open. Maybe we feel the lower back foot peeled off the mat a little bit. If that's our neutral, that's wonderful. Allow that to happen. Relaxing through the rib cage, letting the abdominal muscles release. Yes, it's important to contract the abdominals. We also, equally important, need to be able to relax them. To really fully embrace that diaphragmatic breathing. We can take our hands onto our belly if that helps us. Or we can take our hands out on the floor, palms raised to the ceiling. Relaxing the shoulders, making sure we're on the flat part of our head with our nose straight up to the ceiling. We take a couple of deep breaths in and out through the nose. Starting to pay attention to our breathing. Noticing the inhale fills the belly, the ribs, the chest. And on that exhale, we feel as if everything's deflating, melting into the mat. We can imagine that candle, seeing that flickering flame, feeling the warmth coming off of the candle. And just like the wax as it drips down the side of the candle, melting into the base, every time we take an exhale, I want us to imagine feeling like that melted wax. Inhale, lighting the fire, and exhale, slowly, slowly, we melt down deeper into the floor. Take a couple more deep breaths. Slow, deep breaths. Now, taking our time, slowly, slowly, we're going to come all the way up into our seated position. Coming into our seated position, find our hands resting on our knees, and we'll get ready to say our final goodbye together. Sitting up nice and tall, take a big breath in,
Hands come up to prayer. Exhale down through heart center. Thank you, everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.